Now, as you see, this is particularly a credential dumping exercise and credential dumping phishing email. So what you have to do at this point of time, you remember there were two steps that I already told you: running discovery scan on your email server to identify who all have received this email and who have clicked this particular URL. That is also important. Now, if you found that someone has already clicked that particular URL, it is not dumping any malware over it, right? Like the previous use case, it is trying to get your credentials. So it doesn't matter like whoever has clicked on this particular link, you have to reset all of their passwords, so all of the users password who have clicking this particular link. Okay, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another incident response episode of BlackPerl. So today is day 12, and today we are going to see how basically you can do incident response for an phishing incident. Okay, so finally we are going in track. So today I'm going to discuss two use cases with you guys, and both of the phishing emails and whatever you may call it, I have received them. Okay, and I am presenting the use case to you guys. So one use case is drive-by incident, where basically someone sends you a phishing email and they try to trick you and they try to send you to a particular website, and from there you get a malware into your machine. Okay, and the second incident is like there could be a legitimate one and they are trying to trick you to push your user credentials, maybe user ID, password, or whatever maybe. So we call it as credential harvesting email. Okay, I don't want to waste any further time. Let's dig into the course. So there is something special for you, so let's hop in. Okay, so first thing first, what actually we are dealing with today. Okay, so as you see, there are two emails that we are dealing with today, and both the emails I have received in like simultaneously in my email. So let me first show you what are these emails actually. So as you see, there is one email which where actually the attacker, or whatever maybe you can call him, so he has targeted to fish me, and there was a link to download, and basically he or she, whatever it may be, tried to trick me to download it in the hood of sponsoring my channel. Okay, and another one was there was an like your subscription has crossed 90% and then take actions, and this kind of email. Okay, so both are the like looks quite legitimate and some kind of stuff like that, but we are going to analyze them really, like what is happening here. Okay, so the first email actually, so about cooperative or cooperations of YouTube. Okay, so I received the email, as you see, like 10th of September, and I thought it could be like legitimate email, because the guy name someone, it should, like I just googled it and I have some found out like, okay, it could be someone like from Polish. So they are like the English like the grammars and all those stuffs are not so good. Okay, so I ignored it. I thought it could be a legitimate one, so I ignored it. Okay, so now if you see, so I have actually uh, given some queries, and because I thought it could be a legitimate, so I thought since they are claiming to be Atomic Wallet project, so I just gave it them to the Atomic Wallet URL. Okay, now after some times, like after 1 or 2 days, so what they did, so they basically came back and they basically said me that, okay, so we are from Atomic Wallet, but we are not giving you the link from our website, but we are giving you like a link from a Google Drive. Okay, so that hit my mind, and somehow I thought that there could be something fishy going on. Okay, so this kind of situation can arrive to you as well. Now, what is the intention of today's video is that I want to show you guys that how basically you can analyze if there is any phishing email in your SOC, and you are analyzing that and you are an incident responder. So what basically the steps that you guys or like you should take as an incident responder. Okay, so I'm gonna analyze this. I will treat this as incident, and I'm gonna analyze this particular sucker from top to bottom. Okay, and you can follow my trail, and you can do along with me. If there is any phishing incident, you can follow it. Okay, so what exactly first I need to do? So what will I do? I will simply go here, and you, as you see, there is a file option. So you can, it's a easy property. Okay, so you need to grab this the header information. Okay, so because this information is everything for you. Okay, so you need this header information. So now what I'm gonna do, and remember, if you know me already, so I don't believe in like like the dumping stuffs in like online tools and online tutorials. So what I have found, so there is an interesting project on GitHub, so don't worry about the links and all those stuff. So I'll leave that in the description box anyway. But what you can do, basically this tool will help you to create your own email header parser. Okay, and it is quite similar of the email header analyze, like ML toolbox, the Google Analytics, the Microsoft one, but it is faster, and the main thing is that you are going to get it locally on your machine. So you don't need to worry about anything like, if I am posting anything online, will that will they store the data? If the phishing email is targeted for your your organization, so how that gonna impact me and all those stuffs. Okay, so this is in-house. You can just script it, you can just download from the GitHub, and you can run it, and that's all. Okay, so that's the same thing I'm gonna do. So let's see how it actually works. Okay, so I'll do a quick ls here, and as you see, there is some files, and you can, anyway, you can make it as Docker as well. So the actual file reside in MHA folder, so I'm gonna go inside that. And what I'm gonna do, if I do a quick ls, there is a server.py, and I'm gonna simply run it as like python 3 server.py. Okay, and that should actually work. And if you see that, so it is basically on a Flask project, and it is written on Python. Okay, so now if I'm gonna go here, and if I just open it, and if I do what I can do, I can simply access localhost maybe, because that's on running on port number 1800, correct? So let me do one thing, let me copy this sucker. Okay, and what we, sorry, I killed it. Control C doesn't work in terminal. Okay, yeah, so I can copy that sucker, and what I can do, I can simply paste it over here. Ooh, quite interesting. Now if you see, this is the exact terminal what we actually get in like MS toolbox and all those stuffs. Okay, but we are getting it locally. Okay, so now what I can do, I have that in my not here, so I have that over here somewhere actually. So I have copied it. Okay, so yeah, so I have copied it, and again I'm gonna copy it and go back to my machine, and I'll paste it over here, and I'll say that analyze it. Okay, so by the way, I have a very lengthy video actually, where actually I have told you how basically you can analyze any email header step by step. I'll leave the link in the description. It is coming somewhere here, I don't know, but yeah, you can follow that if you want to do it manually and all those stuffs. Okay, but yeah, this tool is awesome, use that. Now what actually you can see, so this is the, by the way, this is the last email that I have received, and what this is actually doing, so my intention is to as you see, the SPF record is passed, authentication result is passed. Okay, so DKIM also signature is passed, and everything is passed. So this email looks like a legitimate one. That's the reason it has landed to my mailbox. Okay, it was not spammed out, or it was not something like stopped by my email gateway protection. Okay, now if you see here, it is delivered to somewhere, and return part is also the same. Okay, from where actually I have received that email, and it doesn't look like anything happening as like someone is trying to trick me, or someone is doing anything like that from actually the the email header information. Okay, so now you have almost got everything. Now if you see, this is something mx.google, and it is originating from Poland. As I told you, the guy looks to be someone in police. Okay, so the name convention and some kind of stuff like that. Now the mx google, because they are using that ip address, and now you see, so you have this so this is the ip address of the originator, so that goes by traversing from like bottom to top. Okay, so you can get that idea. Okay, so from where it is originating and from where it is coming. Okay, now if you see, you have one ip address, this one, and probably this should be the ip address of the mx, the domain that they are using, and they are using google.com as a like smps server. Okay, so that's quite obvious right now. So I don't see anything else at this point of time. But yeah, so you can use this particular tool and you can analyze everything. Okay, and now you see, I don't know what exactly this means, so it is again in polish, and they have emailed me. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, if you go here, if you go back to the actual email, um so I have received one, like the google drive address, so that strike me at that point of time what is actually happening. Okay, so and never ever try to click these things in in your machine. It can inject malware, it can do all those stuffs. Okay, so now what actually I have done, since I have my vm running, so I have downloaded that particular file from that particular link. And if I want to show you, so you see, this is a file, this is this file is named as like atomic cryptocurrency wallet overview, advantages of atomic wallet, and mp4.scr. so they are basically trying to trick me, and they basically what they have actually mentioned. So email analysis is very important, whatever they are trying to say you. Okay, you need to basically trap that patch. Okay, so what is happening, so after reviewing, we suggest you to share with, okay, blah blah blah, all those stuffs is okay. What they are actually doing, we give you ready-made commercial that translated into all languages of the world. If you like it, we discuss price and premal. So this is basically a commercial and they want me to watch it. Okay, so but I'm not foolish anyway. So what I'm gonna do, I am so as I told you, so I am not a malware reverse engineer. Okay, so I am far away from those skills of opening ida pro, like then jhydra, then OLEDBG, and go to the bottom section of the kernel messages and all those stuffs. But what I can do from an instant responder point of view, you actually should know all these stuffs. Okay, so what I have done, so again, so I am, let me kill this particular one because I have something already done. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do, so there was another one, there was another script that I have written, which is basically do lot of stuff. And I will make it open source, as I told in my previous video, in some time once I have done a full project on it. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, so let me do a quick analysis on this particular file, to understand what is happening over here. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, so python 3, then my tool name is hunter, so I have given is hunter dot like python, so you can see the things coming up over here. So now this is the file name, let me copy that particular file, open terminal. Okay, so let me open it in terminal because I want to know the path of that particular file. Okay, so if I do a quick pwd, you see there is a thing called evidence, so I'll copy that particular sucker and I'll go inside that. Okay, so paste it, and then my file name was atomic something. Okay, so I'll give it like that. Before even doing that, so let me just quickly show you what are the options that I have for this particular tool. And anyway, so I'm gonna give a different demo for this tool in some other time. But yeah, so now if I do find hash option, so this can give me a quick hash of this particular value, so let's do that. Okay, so now what is the option again, the file, for specifying the file, then evidences, then atomic, then I will give as like find hash. Okay, then find hash, that should actually give me whatever the hash value of that particular file, and I can basically use that to try it in virus total and whatever maybe you want. So that basically actually help you to get that particular hash value of that particular file. Okay. Okay, so as you see, I have got the full hash of that particular value, particular sample. Now, what also we can do, we can probably send this particular hash value to query virus total API and just see what is the, if there is any hit or not. Okay, so for sending that particular file to virus total, we will simply use a particular parameter called VT scan, and that particular hash now through API will go to virus total and fetch me that particular, if there is any hit or any evidence or something like that. Okay, as you see, it is sending the query to virus total API and in the backend. So I have saved all those API keys, so I'll cover that in another episode, okay, about the tool when I'm done with it. Okay, so now interesting stuff, you see there are also like 17 detections. Okay, and this tool is telling us that hey, this particular sample is a malware. Okay, so we have done a kind of a hash scan of that particular file, and also now we are interested to see whatever the file can do. Okay, so let's do one thing, and let's quickly identify what is the the value of that particular, like the hex strings, hex properties of that particular value. For doing that, okay, so once again, so I'll show you the particular the help that I have written. So for doing that, because I also keep forgetting what I have done on this particular tool, because it takes time to build that particular tool and the queries and all those stuffs. Okay, so oops, sorry, so minus not that one. So Python, that's okay, so there should minus minus help. Okay, yeah, shit happens all the time, guys, so can't really go without that. Okay, so now what we have these many options as our hand. Okay, so we can probably see the metadata of that particular file, so I am using zip tool. So that's a free version tool, so I have just downloaded that tool and I am querying exif tool from this particular code. And what we can do, we can probably use that particular thing to identify what are the metadata of that particular file. Okay, so for doing that, we will quickly do a metadata scan of that particular file. Okay, so that will give us everything whatever there inside that file, and you probably don't need to do anything else probably to see what is that file actually doing. Okay, so now you see there is an hell lot of data that you have already got about that file. Now you see the file name. Okay, so directory evidence of file size 329 MB. Now probably you cannot dump this file to virus total or any run to scan it, because there is a limit for usage. Okay, so probably you can do a dry run analysis on, like, a dynamic kind of analysis that can help you to identify whatever this file is basically doing. Okay, but anyway, we can do some kind of stuff using like this tool only. So let's see whatever I have for this tutorial. Okay, so now you see now it's an executable application, and you see the language code is written in Chinese. Okay, so that really suspicious. And now you see the file description is something else, Realtek Semiconductor and all those stuffs, and the file original name is this one. Okay, so probably if you see the file encode change date. Okay, so 23rd 9th. Okay, because that's maybe I have just downloaded that particular file and saved to my machine. That's the reason the file is something like showing that. Okay, the file modification date. Now if you see the timestamp, it is probably the compile time of that particular file. Now it has been like so attacker, whoever has written this particular file, so they would obviously try to manipulate that the compile time run, like what I am saying, the compile time. Okay, so that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense. So compile timestamp, okay, that makes sense. So they will try to modify that, and you almost now at this point of time, what this particular file is doing. Okay, so we have the hash of that particular value, that particular file is a trojan kind of thing, and you probably should stop at this point of time. Okay, so what should be your next intention? So what you actually should do at this point of time when you have identified this file is a like a malware, and what next for you? Okay, so the next step is obviously what exactly you need to do at this point of time. You need to run e-discovery scan on your email discovery server to identify whoever else has identified, like whoever else has received this similar kind of email. Okay, so you have already know the IP address of the originator, what that we have seen from the message header analysis. At this point of time who has sent this file, so the email address, and you can run an in discovery scan, and that all of the people who have received this particular email will give will the report will be presented to you. Okay, so the next step, once we have identified whatever happened, whoever has got that particular file, so now next stuff is that you need to check whoever has clicked on that particular link. Okay, so by default, since it is a Google Drive link and it was a zip file, so obviously there are chances that this file will not be blocked by your AV vendor or something, or your proxy even, because it's a zip file. Okay, so it will go through and it will send that particular file that hey, it's a legitimate file. Okay, but you should check at your proxy log at this point of time to identify whoever has clicked on that particular file. Okay, now if you see that particular file has been clicked by someone, so probably you should run AV scan on their machine to identify whether they have tried to run that particular file or not. And if they have run it, I assume that since there are almost like 17 detection. Okay, so I assume that at this point of time, if there is 17 detection, so if they have like unzip that particular file in a Windows machine, obviously the machine AV would have caught that. Okay, but yeah, you need to analyze that. Okay, so that's the one point of thing. And if there is anything phishing kind of, so the credential dumping stuff is happening, so that is my next use case, and that's the next email that I'm gonna show you right now. Okay, so let's jump into the next course. Okay, so this was my second email that also I have received. And now what is this email saying? So it is coming from like AWS support, no reply, AWS amazon.com. So it looks to be a very legitimate one. Okay, from the name of it. Okay, and your free subscription has crossed 90%, take action, and it came to me. And the main trick point, so that you can check all these stuffs, because you see I have a CloudWatch event, so that keeps on sending me if I am consuming, if or my resources are consuming more than my threshold limit. Okay, so that point of time I should tell it that hey, I need to like kill something or like that, because that otherwise it will cross my budget of AWS for that particular month. Okay, now it is quite similar that this particular thing has came to my mailbox, and it quite surprising for me at at the end of the month. So I there was reason for me to think that this mail could be legitimate one. Okay, now if you see, and if you obviously see that there was very less grammatical mistakes, so that could seems like legitimate. Only one thing that is catching my eyes, if you see that these all links are coming from HTTPS, AWS, Amazon marketplace, this looks to be legitimate, this looks to be legitimate. But if you see that this is something like fishy to me. Okay, so blah blah blah, then also AWS, like Amazon, aws.com, then index.html. Okay, now what they are trying to say, please log in to make immediate action to stop your services to from services from attract additional cost. Now yeah, there is something grammatical mistakes, but yeah, as you know, like, so there would be grammatical mistakes, but there cannot be also grammatical mistakes. Okay, so that doesn't mean. Now what is happening, so this links to be suspicious for me, and there is no chance in hell that I am gonna access that particular link. Okay, so what I can do again, so I am going to grab that particular email header properties from that file. But before even doing that, let me actually see whether my the email header analyzer is running or not. So I believe that be running at this point of time. So now, yeah, so I have it running at this point of time now. So I'll just simply change the IP address of it, and I'm yeah, so now it is cool. Okay, so what is next now? So as I told you, so I'm gonna copy that particular email, like email header address, and I'm gonna analyze that here like the way I am doing it. Okay, so now, okay, so now you see the email came from actually emkei.cz, and this is the IP address. Okay, so this is came from Malaysia. Okay, so now if you see that, received SPS fail, obviously authentication result. Okay, so that is also failed, and now I do not know about this IP address. Okay, now if you have one indicator of compromise of your IP address. Okay, now if you see here, if you come to the uh, bottom of the page, now you see the email is coming from return part no reply AWS, errors to reply to AWS, and yeah, so from this particular thing, this thing looks to be a non-legitimate, because Amazon wouldn't never ever say like send me an email from, and like the there are unknown IP address. Okay, so because this IP address doesn't look to be an Amazon IP address even, so what we can do, we can if like we can quickly check like IP void or something, or we can simply check where is that IP is actually located. Okay, and we can check quickly the properties of that IP, like if it is blacklisted or somewhere on some stuff like that. Okay, let me quickly check it and try to identify where is this IP actually coming from. While it is loading, let me see if I can identify something else also. Okay, so it quite looks like at this point of time it's normal, but yeah, let me go back to this page, and now you see, yeah, so reverse DNS is obviously it is not coming from Amazon. Okay, so now it is the ASN owner or something, and it is coming from Malaysia. Okay, so now at this point of time you have your the probably the IP address, and there is another quick option by which you can like identify even if you don't want to analyze your email header. Okay, so the quick step was using cybersafe. Okay, so let me show you that quickly as well. Not this one, so not this one, so I'll go back to my email header. So now if I simply copy my email header, and if I come here and if I paste it quickly, now you see this is the email header. Okay, so the recipes that I'm gonna use, because I am interested to only grab the maybe the IPs, maybe the email addresses, stuff like that. So I'll go and say that like first let me do a quick email, like extract email address. Okay, so I'll use that particular recipe, and now you see there are like couple of email address that has been given from me. Okay, so now you see this is my email address anyway, and this is some email address smtp mail from no reply. Okay, so we have seen this coming from the from IP address smtp mail from no reply. Okay, okay, now this is quite attracting, and this is looks to be a very suspicious one, and you see you have got one of the another IOC that was that I haven't identified from this email header analysis. Okay, so because email header analyze, it's a manual process, right? So you need to go each and every step, each and every table. But what exactly here I am doing, what I am using simple cybersafe. It's a free tool again, so you can download it. I'll leave the link in the description, and I'm running it locally. So okay, so they have their online version as well, but I am running it locally. So what you can do probably, so as you see here, so this particular thing is my another IOC. Okay, so what I can do also, like there should be something like an IP address as well. Okay, so I'll use that one right now. So let me see, tracked IP address. Okay, so yeah, parse IP range, parse IPv header. So what I can use, extract IP address. Okay, yeah, this looks interesting. So I will use this one because I am also interested to see whether like how many IP addresses are there, stuff like that. Okay, so we'll that one probably. Okay, so let me delete that particular one. Okay, and now extract IP addresses. This should actually work pretty well. Okay, so now, okay, so now you see, yeah, so I have now got all my IP addresses. So now everything is looks similar, but I don't know about this one now by probably. So you can use display total, and you can use like property something like regex patterns as well here. Like if I try regex parsers, okay, so regular expression, if I come here and if I do a quickly like user defined, okay, so IP4 address, now you see, yeah, so IPv4 address, so probably these are probably matching. Okay, so these stuffs and these stuffs also, these are all the, you know, the IP address that is present on my mail. Okay, so you have got your easy process how you can extract like the email header, like email IDs, then the IP address. Okay, so there is some other stuffs also that you can also do. So what I'm gonna do, let me show you that. So not from the email header basically. So now this time what we can do, this was my email. Okay, so so I'm gonna use it like open it simple like in a text editor mode, and I'm gonna paste it the full thing into my Shiver shape. Okay, so because I am interested at this point of time to extract any domain information what I haven't identified so far. So what I can do, probably I am deleting the recipes, and let me try to identify something like URLs. Okay, so URL decode, yeah, extract domains, that should actually help me. Now you see there are 38 total domains present here. Okay, so this is quite interesting. Okay, so yeah, these are all domains, these are like smtp addresses, and now you see this is one interesting stuff. Okay, and this is, you see, this is the thing that was present on the email body which I was suspicious about. Okay, so there was any email URL decode, yeah, extract URL. So extract domain, in place of extract domain you can also extract the URLs. Okay, so that thing will give you the exact URL of it, so what is happening. Okay, so now since we have got this particular URL, so let's try to assume that what is happening on that particular URL. Okay, if that is reachable or not. And always remember, whenever you are analyzing something, you have to analyze from a particular like VMware or virtual machine. Okay, otherwise it can infect, because we also don't know what should be inside or what could be inside that file. So okay, yeah, I am opening that particular link. So now if you see that, so they are routing to me an Outlook page, okay, which looks quite similar to a Microsoft Outlook page. Awesome, right? So this is a particular thing that someone could be tricking you as a like credential harvesting, and this called as like property phishing, where someone is trying to harvest your credential. Okay, so the easy process is that you can probably you can do something like become a real tech guy, and you can do Wireshark, you can open burp suit to identify something like that, but I am gonna do the easy process. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, simply I will try to open inspect element, and let's see what I am gonna do now. So I am gonna open the network connections. Okay, because I want to see whatever the network connection that is going or coming if I do something on that page, because that can give me another IOCs or another like domains or whatever maybe. Okay, so I can block them in my proxy probably. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, so I'm gonna let me fool him also. Hello dot gmail.com. Okay, so we are going to kick his butt. Sorry about my language. Okay, so now you see this particular thing is querying, so yeah, obviously I'll paste my password, so don't worry about it. So now you see this is a particular thing. You see this is something, it is calling some s3 IP address, Amazon s3 index.html. Okay, babycon.ico. Now you see you have your another set of like the domain information. Okay, so something like travinco something academy.com and call.php, then clearbit.php and some stuff like that. So let me give 1 2 4, let me do a quick sign in. Okay, yeah, I know, so I don't want to save. And you see you are getting a lot of like IOCs. Okay, so let me see what is this particular sucker is doing. So if I go to the header information and if I go to the request page, let me take it a little bit top so that it can be visible for you guys, and let me probably remove my face for a time being. Okay, yeah. So now if you see here, so what is happening basically here, so response element I am interested in. So you see it is success call.php. Yeah, this is interesting stuff. Okay, so now if you are an incident handler, you should be seeing whatever the incident, and probably by seeing this particular code you can see how basically they are trying to parsing the credentials, whatever information they are trying to store. But what also we can do at this point of time, you can probably check what is this particular domain name information. So okay, so let's do one thing quickly. Let's go to the request page, and okay, so there is nothing in the request page. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna simply copy that particular page over here, um, copy the URL, and I can come here and I can see, I can basically paste it because I am interested to see whatever they are calling inside that. Okay, so if I simply, if I am too lucky, I'll probably get that particular thing. Okay, so call.php, but I am not sure at this point of time. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, interesting. So if I do, they are sending me a particular error file, but I don't know what is this error file. So let me scroll up. So this is by the way, this is called like as a directional traversing or dictionary traversing, whatever you may be. But I am trying to identify whatever they have saved probably on their server or something like that. Now this page is loading. Now let's see what they have stored on this particular page. Okay. Okay, it is loading something quite interesting. So I didn't like thought that they could be storing something over here. Okay, now okay, interesting stuff. So it is looking to be, appears to be a legitimate website, and they are trying to trick people. Okay, so I don't know where they are something. So it could be something like that. Okay, so they have an API integrated also. So you see you have another IOC by the way. So you have got the API whatsapp.com. You can block that particular sucker as well. Now if I go to this Facebook, is it taking to some, is it taking me somewhere? Oh, okay, no, it is taking, it is rerouting me to that particular page. Okay, so now what we can do, if you want to get real like again techie or some kind, so you can use something like social engineering stuff and see where is this particular thing and what exactly they are trying to do. Okay, so you can probably search them in Google. So and that can give you some kind of hit that whether they are real or not. Okay, so yeah, so it looks like they are real people. Polytechnic college something, they are something real people, but I don't know. So now this particular thing is giving me some kind of intuition that either they have hosted a total fake page and they have done a real good job. If someone goes behind them and try to identify what they are actually doing, but there could be another possibility that this organization server might have been compromised. Okay, and they are using the attacker actually, so attacker basically using um like their uh, backend server and their backend everything, to trick people and to send credentials and dump credentials so that they can use it for harvesting and all those stuffs. Okay, so now at this point of time you are quite sure that they are doing something real crazy stuff. Okay, and now as you see, this is particularly a credential dumping exercise and credential dumping phishing email. So what you have to do at this point of time, you remember there were two steps that I already told you: run a discovery scan on your email server to identify who all have received this email and who have clicked this particular URL. That is also important. Now if you found that someone has already clicked that particular URL, it is not dumping any malware over it, right? Like the previous use case, it is trying to get your credentials. So it doesn't matter like whoever has uh, clicked on this particular link, you have to reset all of their passwords, so all of the users password who have clicking this particular link. Okay, and you have received and you have got basically a hell lot of IOCs. So from email header analysis, we have got like some domains. You can block those domains in your email server, you can block those IPs in your email server, you can block this particular email address in your email server. And what also you can do in your proxy, whatever this as you see here, this particular thing, you can block this academy page, you can block these PHP extensions, and overall you can block this holy domain as well in your proxy, so that no people can, if they if they are coming, or if someone is also there who haven't received that particular email, and today morning or tomorrow morning if they are logging in and receiving that email, they probably cannot access to that particular link, and you are not in the risk of chain of phishing attacks. Okay, and there very one important step that you need to take at this point of time. You have to purge all of those emails for running an e-discovery scan to the mailboxes from all of the users into your organizations. Okay, so that step actually ensures that whoever have received that particular email, their mailbox is cleaned, and whoever are yet to read that particular email, their mailbox is also cleaned. Okay, so these steps are very, very important. So yeah, so that's all I have for this particular episode. So I hope you have enjoyed and you have learned something. At least you have grabbed the free knowledge of those tools, how you can use those tools in your SOC, so that you don't need to depend on some online tools or like some people, so that they can analyze and they can give you the feedback. Okay, so every tool is in front of you, you can use that, you can utilize, and you can probably install them onto your machine as well to analyze them. Okay, so I hope the steps are clear. And if there is a phishing incident, by the way, if you are receiving phishing email and you are doing some kind of investigation, comment me and let me know. Okay, so I'll be happy, so that I can tell my families also that, hey, see, this is the particular tutorial that I have shown you, and now you have implemented that tutorial in your real life and you are doing some stuff. Okay, cool, isn't it? And the last thing before even leaving, so I hope I deserve one like, because anyway I am putting a lot of effort for to teach you this kind of episode, and believe me, this kind of things you won't get any of the paid course, or no one can teach you. So our real incident handler who is working on the field, who is working on the ground, they can only teach you like me. So they are, yeah, so I can pat on my back. But yeah, that's true, right? So I am sharing my real experience with you people. So if you like the episode, please give me a thumbs up, because that's really matters. And I don't know what you are gonna do with that red particular button which is coming right now in front of your screen. Hit that particular button, so subscribe my channel, hit that particular bell icon, so that whenever I upload any new video, and by the way, so I am trying to upload videos like more than a week now, so stay tuned for that. And there are a lot of things that I am planning. Probably I am trying to open a Python course for you guys, like 10-20 days Python, so similar kind of project, because that's very important, right? So you have seen the tools that I am working on, I have written in Python, so important stuff. But yeah, if you are interested, let me know. I'll be happy to compile one course for you guys. It's absolutely free, nothing else. So you just have to comment, like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to tell BlackPerl to your folks, to your peers, that hey, go to BlackPerl and watch this particular episode. Okay, so yeah, that's all. And I hope I don't have anything else. So if you have any queries, if you have any suggestion for me, feel free to post that in the comment area, so I'll be happy to answer you. And feel free to follow me on LinkedIn, because I keep posting a lot of stuffs over there. And if you are looking for any job, anything, something like that, so feel free to join my LinkedIn community. So there are awesome people, some out there, so I can probably help you to get your next role, who knows. Yeah, so I'll catch you guys next time. Stay healthy and stay safe.